thought we would just come on here this morning and talk about how things are going this week, how I'm adjusting after the loss of my beautiful, beautiful Rebel, my lovely 13-year-old Maltese, my dog, my friend, my buddy, my partner in crime. So I just wanted to let everyone know how everything's going and how I'm adjusting to being here without my beautiful Rebel. And everything's moving along. And I actually got in the car yesterday and went to the grocery store and went grocery shopping. And the fruit markets and vegetable markets are out along the road. So I stopped at the fruit and vegetable market along the way and picked up some goodies. And it was really nice. It was, at first it was hard to get into the car and go for a ride after Monday and taking Rebel for his last ride to the vet. And but I'm doing good, doing real good, keeping my mind occupied, keeping busy. Yesterday I put a lot of time into just, trying to regroup and reschedule things that I haven't done for quite a while. I'm really looking forward to getting into some investigations, start going out on some more paranormal investigations. And now it won't be as difficult at night because I won't be so concerned about leaving Rebel overnight. So that will be something I'm going to be starting here pretty soon. And just like the photo that I had today on my thumbnail, that's one of the places that I did go and investigate, and it is local. And it's very, very intimidating, even from the outside. That's a photo that I took before I entered the building the night that I went to investigate. So that's an actual photo that I took of the facility, the building. It's actually a mansion, is what it is. And it is beautiful. They are restoring it. It is listed with the Historical Society, and they take donations for upkeep and for restoration. And they're really doing a wonderful job. And they do all different tours throughout the day, in the evening, and then you can rent the facility for overnight investigations as well if you want to bring in a group. And it's, as you can see, a very, very intimidating building from the outside. And it was a full moon the night that I was there and took that photo. So you had the windows lit up, so you have the glow of the lights, and then you had the moon. And it was really quite interesting. It was one of my first investigations with the group. Well, the first investigation with the group. And so I just got to experience a whole group there. And if there would be any noise, contamination and stuff when you have a group. And with that, yes, I definitely discovered if you want to rent a facility, the less people that you have there, the less likely that you're going to have any kind of noise contamination. So that was a very good experience. And then I also went to a jail that is supposedly haunted with the same group. And then we went to Bobby Mackey's, which is a country music honky tonk. And if you look up Bobby Mackey's on YouTube, I'm sure you're going to find a a lot of different groups that went to Bobby Mackey's and investigated Bobby Mackey's. And one employee that worked there supposedly got possessed and had to have a priest come in for an exorcism. And so that was all very interesting. So my husband and I wanted to go and check that out and, see what all we picked up there. And I'm really glad we did, because from what I understand, they're going to tear that honky tonk Bobby Mackey's down. And most likely they'll probably rebuild on the same site. I'm not sure what their plans are, but I'm really glad that I got to go. I'm glad that my husband went with me. And so even once the building is gone, then we still have our evidence that we caught, all of the videos, all the audios, and yes, the spirit box session, which to me, that's nothing more than just noise and rattling and for entertainment purposes only. But I'm really glad that we went to Bobby Mackey's. Now, Bobby Mackey, the gentleman that purchased it for years, he would not believe that his facility was haunted. And when people would come and tell him that it was haunted, he didn't believe it. And then someone actually got hurt in the bar, and they took him to court and was going to sue him because he did not have any signs or any notifications that his place was haunted, and this person supposedly got attacked by an evil spirit in the bar and got hurt. So he literally took Bobby Mackey to court, and you can actually find that video where he did take him to court. So after that, the owner had to think about, what did he want to do in the future? So before you enter the bar, when you walk, you open the one door, and there's like a little foyer that you walk in and another set of doors. And between those two, in that little space, he has signs above that tells you that you are entering a place that is haunted and that you can get harmed or you can get attachments. And basically, he advertises that. So, and he's not liable. So if you go beyond this point, then he's not liable. So that was the way that this particular bar owner decided to deal with it. And I think, the history on the place, it was so many things before it became Bobby Mackey's honky tonk country music bar. So I'm really glad we went. It has been added on, even in the basement. When we went in the basement, my husband and I were really shocked because there's an old home in the basement. You can see the windows and the doors, and they just built the rest of it right up around it and left that in the basement. And you can literally walk into that old house, the old dwelling, and there's still old wallpaper and stuff on the walls. So if you are into the paranormal and you'd like to go check it out, you may want to do that in the near future before they do decide to go tear it down, because it is, from what I understand, they are going to tear it down. I'm not sure when. I haven't really followed exactly when they're going to do that, but it's a very, if you want to go someplace and really check it out, and all the history and how this gentleman had to basically list his own business as haunted in order to protect himself from lawsuits. So people wonder, is the paranormal real? When it gets to the point that you're literally taken to court and you're sued because something attacked you that you could not see, and no one warned you that there possibly could be something there, then that's basically telling you that, this gentleman was dealing with a real lawsuit, which cost him real money to defend himself. And then he had to take precautions so that it never happened again. So if you're interested in that, you can research it and you can find it. I can't remember the time frame, and I know it wasn't too long after he opened the Bobby Mackey's honky tonk. And there was supposedly, it was at one point, I think, a slaughterhouse where they had animals. And then it was a dance hall, and they had dancing girls and Latin. It was a Latin dancers, and then it was ran by the mob, I believe, is the rumor that they had. And when we were downstairs in the basement, there is a door that is riddled with bullet holes, and it just looks like somebody took a weapon and just swung it around and just openly fired. And I asked and questioned, I've watched a lot of different groups, over time that have visited that, but I never really heard any of them ask, what's the history behind, what happened here. And I don't think anybody explained exactly what happened. So I'm not really sure. But they had gambling, and they had Latin dancers, and supposedly the one dancer unalived herself there because her father did not want her to date any of the band members, and she fell in love supposedly, according to the rumors, that she supposedly fell in love with one of the musicians, and her father found out, and supposedly her father poisoned her lover. And when she found out, she was expecting, and when she found out, she unalived her father by poisoning him, and then supposedly unalived herself in that bar. And Bobby Mackey did write a song, Johanna, and it's supposedly the dancer's name, and she's supposedly one of the spirits that's present at Bobby Mackey's. So, there's a lot of, speculation and a lot of rumors, and I'm not really sure how much actual evidence that they have, but that's basically what they're saying, that happened, one of the things that happened. And then after it was the Latin club, then it became Bobby Mackey's. And Bobby Mackey is a musician. He sings and he plays, and he turned it into basically a country honky tonk bar. And it's a very interesting place. It's old. The floors are all uneven, and it's almost like funhouse floors because they built on and built on and built on, and nothing is level. So, and if you're walking around in the dark, you're kind of stumbling anyway because you are in the dark, and then you have all these uneven floors. So that even gives it more of a intimidating place to be in because nothing's level, and there's a staircase in the basement that they sealed off. It used to be in an office, and supposedly if people were caught stealing when it was a gambling hall, they would take people in through the office and then down the stairs, and there are two old cells in the basement. Supposedly they held them in the cells to interrogate them, what was you doing? How did you cheat? But now I believe that is maybe part of the men's bathroom, but they covered it over with flooring. So it's like a stairway now to nowhere in the basement. So with all the things that's been added and changed, it's creepy. It's very creepy. And it's if you get a chance, it's a very interesting place. If you get the opportunity, you might want to go check that out before they do tear it down, and that way you'll have, your own investigation, your own thoughts, your own evidence, and something that you can keep for further reference toward history. This is something that they had, and now it's tore down. It's no longer there. But today we're having coffee. I got my coffee snob cup, big cup of coffee. Got myself awake. Got myself a shower. Trying to continue to heal and to move forward. And trigger warning, I smoke and I drink coffee. I drink coffee and smoke cigarettes. But anyway, I thought we'd jump on here. It's Friday. It's been a long week. Every day I'm getting a little bit more adjusted. It's going to take a while, I'm sure, but I'm doing good, doing real good. Keeping myself busy. And I had a rotisserie chicken last night for dinner, so I'm going to debone that today, and then I'm going to turn it into some cream chicken over biscuits and maybe some mashed potatoes, and maybe put some aside for some chicken salad. Delicious rotisserie chicken. So every day I'm trying to get up and still make me some plans for the day, lay me out some order, put some order in my day. That's what I'm doing, and it's really helping. Because right now I'm just trying to structure my life now without my beautiful rebel, and that's a little bit rough. I'll be honest. It's rough, but I made it all week. Today's Friday. We lost him on Monday morning, and today's Friday. So it's been a very long week of adjusting and keeping myself busy. And I did get my blueberries all washed and that I picked on Tuesday. And I think it's amazing how life, if you don't want to do anything and you want to just lay around and not do anything, life has kept me busy this week. My blueberries were ready. The birds wanted to come into them. I only have 2 bushes. So I went out on Tuesday and I picked them. And they still needed to ripen a little. So I washed them and put them in the strainer and set them in the kitchen. And then that was on Tuesday afternoon. And then I washed them again Wednesday and left them overnight Wednesday night. And by yesterday, they were beautiful. And I ended up getting 2 2-quart freezer bags full of blueberries for my first picking off my 2 bushes. So I did do that. And then I also went grocery shopping yesterday and stopped by the little food and or fruit and vegetable stand. And they didn't really have a whole lot yet. And I'm thinking this afternoon or tomorrow, I have an little herb garden that I planted. It's 3 tiers. And it's like little oval or oblong stainless steel pans. And I put, last year I had chives, and I had oregano and parsley and lettuce. On the top, I had like my chives and my smaller herbs. And then on the next row, I had some lettuce, leaf lettuce. And then on the bottom, I had some small green onions. And then I have two oval stainless steel containers on my deck. And last year I had green peppers in one and cucumbers in the other one. And then I had a hanging tomato, the little tomatoes. And my mind just went blank, can't think what they're called. Cherry tomatoes. And it was a little hanging one. So that way I had a little garden area on my deck. And then I had all my herbs and my plants, and then I have two rocking chairs and the fire pit, and it was like my little garden area. And then I have my bar with my 4 chairs. So I had my bar area, and then my love seat and coffee table, and then the hot tub. So that kind of divided my large deck off into little areas that I could go out, and it would be like Tammy's garden and then the tiki bar and the sitting area and then the hot tub area. So I need to go out and get all of that completely set up and ready for summer, because that's coming. And so I was thinking about maybe picking up some plants this afternoon or tomorrow. Not sure yet. And on my way to pick up my plants, which I may wait and do it after I have plants and bring them home, which would probably be the best thing. I'm going to take my vehicle to the car wash and, get everything cleaned and nice and fresh after Monday, try and get rid of some of the bad energy and bad vibes that I had Monday when I was taking him to the vet. And he was having his last ride with me. So I want to go in and clean my vehicle and get it all freshened up. Because Rebel, like I said before, he never liked tears. If you tried to cry, he'd try to lick your little tears away and just whine like, "Mommy, please don't cry." So I know that he does not want Mommy to be sad. I know that. So today I'm here with the sun shining. We got our candle lit, bringing in some light and love. We have our sage, which I have not lit. I have others that have already been lit. This one is just one that has not been lit yet. I love the smell of sage. And that's how I'm doing today. And like I said, every day I'm getting a little bit better, spiritually a little stronger. And I think everything's going to be just fine. Now, next week, trigger warning, I don't want to offend anybody. But next week we should receive Rebel's ashes. And I'm sure that's not going to be a good day. But I'm slowly every day going to prepare myself for that, because then, Rebel's coming back home with me. I know everyone has their own belief. And if you don't believe in that, I don't want to offend anybody. I'm not here to offend anybody. But I just needed to hop on here and let everybody know how I'm doing. And wanted to talk about some ghost hunting BS. And some of the BS is really getting deep. And the ghost hunting, paranormal, some of the uses for paranormal tools are being abused, and they should be used for entertainment purposes only, and not to be used to harm anyone or to make something more challenging, for someone that is hurting or grieving. And I personally, and this is me, this is my opinion only, I will never falsely accuse anyone. I believe that everyone is innocent until proven in a court of law. That's why we have a legal system. I will not bring false hope, and I do not ever want to hurt anyone or bring any type of hurt to anyone. That's not what I'm about, me personally. That's my opinion. And with this being my platform, I can use that platform to, help bring awareness to how to properly approach things that, be it in the paranormal or be it just every day. I want to bring some light and love. The world needs more light and love. The world has enough hatred, enough anger, and I really feel that if I'm going to use my platform, I want to use it in a positive way. I want to bring forth positive vibes. I'm not a psychic. I will never say I'm a psychic because I'm not. Do I have paranormal experience? Yes. Many years of paranormal experience. Have I tried different pieces of equipment to determine, what can detect any possible paranormal activity or haunting, a place being haunted? Yes. And I do it in a investigative way. I research the equipment. I want equipment that I know can do more than just a lot of static and a lot of bits and pieces of stuff like the SP7 that I've talked about several times. To me, it's nothing but annoying that static and bits and pieces of voices, and that is for entertainment purposes only, and nothing that comes to them should be used as facts. It should not be used to harm or to bring hurt or any misleading information to anyone. It should not be used for false hope. And it definitely should not be used to take advantage of people, be it someone that is grieving because they've lost somebody, or if somebody's home is possibly has paranormal activity and they feel their home is haunted and they're reaching out for help, then the equipment should be used in a positive way. in a way that can help bring answers, to the person that has contacted you or reached out to you for help. And it should never be used to take advantage of somebody. It should never be used for false accusations. It should never be used for financial gain. That is horrible. I'm sorry, it's horrible. And me, myself, personally, that's not something I would do. And I guess everyone has their own perspective. I don't want to step on anybody's toes, but, anytime that I go out to do something and I want to put it on my platform, I want to make sure that I have completely thought about, what I'm putting out there, and I want to try and put everything out there in a good, positive way. I don't want anything tied to me and my platform that would be misinformation or that would be hurtful. So just like I light a candle, I want to put that light surround my home, surround my life, and surround my platform in light and in love. And that's why I'm here. Do I want to continue to explore and investigate the paranormal? Of course I do. Do I believe the paranormal is real? Yes, I do. Do I believe that you can get in over your head? Oh, definitely. Definitely you can get in over your head. Do I want to grow my channel to be a channel that I can be proud of, something that I can leave behind, for my daughter, for my grandchildren, for my audience, that they can go back and look over and use as a reference for, leave us as like something I've done, like history. It's documented. Here's the facts. Here's the evidence. That's the way I want to go about it. So that's just me. And maybe it's because I'm going through the grieving process this week, and maybe my emotions are up and down. But when you see things, and it makes your heart overwhelmed. It's overwhelmed with, oh my gosh, that's all I can say is, oh my gosh, really? Are you serious? I hope if I ever start to step out of line, that my audience and that people that love me say, whoa, you might be stepping a little bit out of line. Because, oh my goodness. I guess that's my word for the day. Oh my goodness. Really? Did you go back and watch yourself? That's my question. Did you ever go back and watch yourself? Are you proud of what you see? That's how I want my platform to be. If I go back and watch something, I want to be proud of it. I want to know that hopefully, if there was someone out there watching this that maybe wondered, is there a place that I can reach out? Is there a place I can get help? There is people, there's groups, and there's real people that will come to help you. And if they are not able to provide all the help for you, they can reach out to their contacts and help to bring in people that can assist you and help you. That is real. That is reality. That is the facts, not a bunch of non facts, false information, misinformation, false accusations. But if you're having a problem and you need to reach out to people, there are people there that you can reach out to, because we understand that you are a real person with a possible real problem and that you need real help. And there are people that do this, and they will be there to help you and to guide you through it. And if you have reached out to someone, before you do, try to research them. See if they've went in and done other investigations, if they have a platform, if they put information out there. Watch those people. Have they been helpful whenever someone was in need of help, or did they make it worse? Did they bring harm? So just make sure that you research people, because I know that you can get overwhelmed, and if you are having a lot of paranormal in your life, you may be sleep deprived. You may not even be sure if you know what you're experiencing, or you want to know whether or not it is real. There are people, real people, that are in this field that can come out there and can help you. They can do a legitimate investigation. They can collect evidence. They can present this evidence to you. Not every person that is in the paranormal is faking things and trying to get clicks and views. There are real people that do real paranormal investigating. And that's basically what my channel is. And the reason I started it is because I had experienced paranormal for years, and I didn't understand what it was. I didn't know how to deal with it. But after years and years, you realize this is real. And then you have to reach out to people that can come in and really help you evaluate what's going on. And I really hope that if you're out there and you're doing paranormal investigating, that if there's something I've said today that touches your heart, absorb it. Absorb that. Maybe it's not me that's actually touching your heart, but the words that I spoke, I may have been led to say those words, and you may have been led to hear those words. So if there's something that I said that weighed heavy on your heart and made you stop and think, then that's a good thing. It's a good thing. Every day I want to strive to be a better person. Every day I want to wake up and realize what all I should be grateful for, not look for ways to hurt somebody or ways to take advantage of somebody. I want to wake up every day and say, how can I be a better person today? And look around all around me, and I find So many things every day that I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for a wonderful husband. He's very loving, very smart, intelligent, kind. He's amazing. And I am so grateful that he chose me to be his wife. I have a daughter, one daughter, and then I was never able to have another child. So I'm very grateful that I have that child. I have a roof over my head. I have food in my cupboards and in my refrigerators, and in my freezer. So I'm very grateful for that. So every day I want to wake up, and before I get upset or get maybe confused or mixed up in life, because everyday life is rough. Everyone has challenges. Every day there can be a new challenge, but every day you can find a new solution. But it's a solution that you choose that's going to make the difference. Every single action has a reaction. And that's what I keep trying to tell myself every day. Every action has a reaction. Do I want my reaction to be positive and good? Yes. Do I want my action that I took to cause a reaction of anger or sadness or pain? No. No, I don't. Am I perfect? Absolutely not. If there's anyone that's perfect, they can throw the first stone. Everyone has made mistakes. I've made mistakes, but we learn and we grow from our mistakes. I'm learning and growing every day. My hair is white now. I'm old now. I don't have my young girl voice anymore. I have this really deep, cracky voice. And I look at it as aging with grace. You know, I don't try to impress anybody. I'm not here to impress anybody. If you want to judge me, if you have nothing better to do today and you want to hurt somebody or judge somebody, that's okay. You can judge me. You can throw all the stones you want to. But that's not the way I want to live my life. And that's not the way I want my channel, my platform to be. I want to be positive. I want to bring light, bring love, hope, and understanding. That's what I want for my channel, for my platform. So if you're going through a hard time like I'm going through this week, I mean, I could have woke up every morning angry. I could have maybe said or done things that I wish I wouldn't have. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that at all. And trigger warning, I drink coffee and I smoke cigarettes. So if you're just coming in, enjoy some coffee with me, or an iced tea, or a hot tea, or a cold beverage, or a hot beverage. And let's just talk about some life, some paranormal, some ghost hunting BS, whatever you want to talk about. As long as you keep it respectful, no false accusations. I don't allow it. If I see it, I'm gonna have to ask you to please take a time out. I'm not gonna have that here. Social media is a very, very good thing. it can bring a lot of answers to people, but it can also be harmful. And from what I'm seeing on social media, oh my God. It's like, really? Really? Are you serious? Do you even hear what you're saying? Do you not even have a conscience? Now, I'm not picking on anyone. I'm not going to pick one person or this couple people out and say, this is ridiculous. I'm just going to say the things that I've been seeing is absolutely ridiculous. So if you want to hang out with me, talk about it, we can do that. I'm just me. I'm just a plain old me. Just an older lady that has maybe a little bit of life experiences that some people don't or could not understand. We can talk about it. We talk about the paranormal. We talk about like the tarot cards. I'm just starting to, and if I'm going to talk about tarot cards, I'm doing an investigation. You know, whenever I'm doing a tarot card reading or doing an oracle card reading, I do not want to in any way bring harm or hurt or ill feelings to anyone. I think any tool that you use, everything even in your regular daily life, that tool can be used for good or it can be used in a bad way. You know? So I hope that when my hands have any tool of any kind in them, that I use them for something that's positive, be it paranormal equipment, say be it the tarot cards, the oracle cards. I'm just hoping that anything that my hands touch, that I use any tool that I have in a positive way, something that can bring light, something that can bring love, not something that's going to bring anything evil or anything harmful or anything false or anything misleading or anything that would be judgmental. You know, I'm hoping that as I grow this channel and grow my audience, that people will understand that there is real people, that everyone that we encounter, they are real people with real lives. And you can do so much damage with words, nothing more than words. You don't even need any tool in your hand. You don't need anything but words. And words can do so much hurt and so much damage. And that's not what I want to be about. That's not me. And it's not ever going to be me. So if people come to my channel and they're hoping for drama and they're hoping for slanderous accusations, they're not going to find that here. As you can read going across my screen, everyone is innocent until proven guilty. And that's how I feel. And I feel that's why we have a wonderful, wonderful legal system. You know, I'm not a judge. I'm not a jury. I'm not an attorney. I'm just a person that gets up every day and tries to be a better person today than she was yesterday. if I can be a better person today than I was yesterday, then I've achieved something good, something positive. And that's what I want. That's what I always want. I mean, we all, every day, have to make choices. We have to go about our daily chores, be it, house chores or work or whatever you're doing. Is there something you can do today that would show a little bit of love, a little bit of kindness? That's what I'm looking at. I mean, we are a ball of energy. Our body is energy. If we can put that out as good energy and positive energy, smile more. It takes more muscles to frown than it does to smile. So smile more. You know, Maybe somebody just needed a smile today. Nothing more, just a smile or a hello. The smallest things to you can mean a lot to somebody else. So that's how I want to live my life. Like I said, trigger warning, I smoke. And today I'm here to smoke, to drink coffee. I smoke cigarettes. I drink coffee, talk about the paranormal. I talk about happiness, sadness, grief, emotions. Emotions that every one of us wake up with every day. But I want to choose happiness. I want to choose love and light. And even though I'm grieving so badly for my little dog this week, every day I want to get up and take a shower and just wash everything away and start afresh every day. Because when you're grieving, you're going through so many emotions that you can be angry, you can be sad, So I want to be careful, what I'm saying and what I'm doing. And every day I want to become spiritually stronger. I get up and I'm feeling my spirit's starting to lift a little bit. It's been a long week. I lost my dog Rebel on Monday. Today's Friday. So I've made it through the week. Today's Friday. Keeping myself busy, thinking about things that I can add to structure my day, to structure, even if it's my hours, just enough to keep me occupied and to bring me happiness, good memories, a little light, a little love. And that's how I'm doing today. And I hope that everybody can look out and enjoy something about today. I mean, the sun's out, it's shining, it's beautiful, it's not cold, it's not rainy, it's not storming. There's something that you can be grateful for. And it just takes the little things in life, nothing major. So I just want to become stronger in my spirit, in my mind, in my soul. I want to start making plans for summer, getting the camper out, getting the camper cleaned, and getting everything ready, looking for new campgrounds to go visit, new places to go see, checking out new places to go investigate, to do paranormal investigating. So that's my plan. That's what I plan on doing. And keeping myself busy. And I'm sure as I do this, my channel will grow because I'll have more investigations and more things I can upload and share. But every day is a little easier to get up. Every day is a little easier to not hold back tears. I woke up this morning and yesterday morning and there was no tears. So, that's good. Like I said yesterday, I actually got in the car and went to town and stopped at the fruit and vegetable market along the road and picked up a few things and then went grocery shopping and then come home and had rotisserie chicken and baked beans and corn and, had a really nice dinner. And, every day is what we make of it. And if there's someone out there that's having a bad day, I just want to let you know you're not alone. If there's someone out there that needs a hug, I'm sending a internet hug across the waves, big hug. You're not alone. If you have friends, reach out to friends. If you're grieving or if you're alone and you're too preoccupied with your mind, reach out to a friend today. Let them help you, let them be with you. And don't grieve alone. If you're grieving, don't grieve alone. Even if you have a YouTube channel or something similar to what I'm doing today, get on your channel and say hello. Let people know that, hey, it's Friday. I'm having coffee, I'm smoking cigarettes, and I'm doing good. I've made it another day, and I've got stronger and less, the sadness is easing. Of course, it's a big adjustment. My home is entirely too quiet without my beautiful dog Rebel. I'm sure next week is not going to be easy. I'm trying to prepare myself for next week, and my husband is preparing himself for when Rebel's ashes come back to us. And like I said, I don't want to offend anybody if you don't believe in that. Everyone has their own beliefs. But my husband and I believe in cremation. And Rebel was cremated, our beautiful dog. And we will be getting him his ashes and bringing him home next week. So I'm definitely going to keep myself busy, prepare myself for that. In a way, it's going to be a good thing because I know he's back home with me. He's back home where he belongs. I don't think I've ever been without Rebel for more than maybe a night or 2 nights if I was sick or in the hospital or, this is the longest I've ever been without Rebel in 13 years. So it's been a long week. But like I said, I think it's amazing that life will help you, even though you're not trying to make plans or keep yourself busy. Monday was a very bad day because he passed on Monday. And then Tuesday, life happened. My blueberry bushes, I have 2. And they're over 6 foot tall now. And I was out on the deck and I seen my bushes moving and I thought, well, it's not windy. And I noticed there was birds flying into my blueberry bushes. And I knew they were about ready to pick. So I went out and picked off my blueberries. So I think it's absolutely amazing that life will help you whenever you don't realize that you need help. and it keeps you occupied when you really need to be occupied. So I'm so grateful, for all the little things that happen. And if you notice the little things that happen around you, it'll open your heart and your mind and let you absorb and take in the world around you. And it's not just you, it's not just your feelings, and it's not just your sadness. It's everything around you. Open your heart, open your mind. Take a deep breath. Just breathe in everything around you, and life will comfort you if you allow it. If you open your heart and you open your soul, life will comfort you whenever you are up in your worst, your very worst. Look at little things that happen around you. Whenever you're sad and you don't want to do anything, and the sun comes out and it's beautiful outside, maybe that's life telling you, the world telling you, you need to come outside. You need to live. You need to breathe. You can't just sit at home, and you can't just keep mourning, and you can't keep crying. You know that your dog did not like tears. He got upset when you cried. Don't do it. So I'm just so grateful that I have an open heart and an open mind, and I'm allowing life to show itself to me, and to move me in directions I need to be moved in. Because when you grieve, you get so angry at times. And I don't like it. I don't like anger. Not at all. And I haven't got angry. I'm grateful I didn't get angry. All the different things that have happened this week that have been just little tiny things, to help me look around me, to see what's around me, to feel what's around me. And I really believe that if you allow yourself that opportunity, you can absorb it. Every day you can just absorb something little. I mean, even if it's something tiny, if it's lighting a candle and enjoying the smell, of the candle, the aroma filling your room and your home, or if it's going out and sitting on your deck and getting some sunshine. Whoops. Hi, Jay. Good morning, Tammy. Positive words, respect, and blessings to you. Oh, thank you. Bless your heart. Thank you for coming. I'm doing better today. It's been a long week. We lost Rebel, my beautiful dog, my Maltese. He was 13. And we lost him Monday. And it's been a long week, but I'm doing really good. I'm having coffee. Even brought out my coffee snob cup, my big cup of coffee. I did another live this week. We had some new oracle cards come in, so I was trying to keep my mind busy. So we opened the vintage oracle cards, the vintage wisdom oracle, and we did a flip through, and those cards they're so beautiful, so beautiful. Hi, it's Dumpling. My son changed my name. I have to wait 14 days before I can change it back. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Hi, Dumpling. I knew the face looked familiar. The name just didn't. Yeah, okay. Oh, hi, Dumpling. Thank you for being here. Yeah, I'm just having some coffee this morning and doing some chatting and keeping myself busy. And like I was saying, it was Monday whenever I lost Rebel. And of course, I took him by myself for his last ride to the vet, and his seizures over the weekend were horrible. Oh, and took him to the vet and on Monday morning, and she put him in an oxygen tent because his breathing was so bad. And she was hoping, and I was hoping, that he'd bounce back because he has before, but unfortunately he had fluid in his lungs. And she said, he's really struggling. And she said, I know that you love him, and the best thing that we can do is, would you allow me to help to assist him? And so that it was a rough day Monday. We've had him for 13 years, and for the last probably 4 years, I've been home every day after my injury at work. And then I became disabled because of it. So every single day, my morning started with me and Rebel, and my whole day was me and Rebel. He was my little shadow. And I'm telling you, the silence in this house, it's taken a lot. I miss that little pity patter on my floors, and his little bark, and his little, he had the prettiest big brown almond eyes, and his little black nose. He was a big white fluff ball, and he had a little black nose and his big brown eyes. And and I can't cry. My husband said, no, Monday he allowed that. But he said, every time you cried, Rebel would whine, and he would lick every tear and just whine like, Mommy, he hated for someone to cry. And so we said, we're not going to cry. We cried Monday. And, but then Tuesday, I went out and actually worked a little bit on the deck, getting it ready for summer. And then I started the grill. And so both Monday and Tuesday night, I was out on the deck. It's just, I couldn't be in the house. It was too quiet. And my husband said, I'm really glad that you're out on the deck. He said, because I didn't know how I was going to come in the front door. We always use the front door. And Rebel meets him every night. And it's just, they have their routine. He's daddy's boy. He loves Mommy, but he's daddy's boy. And it's like life. I didn't even think about it. And I was out on the deck, and he was so glad I was out on the back deck, and he came in the back door. And he said, thank you, because I didn't know how I was going to get in the front door. So it's like he's here, and he's leading us and guiding us, how to comfort each other without us even knowing it. So Monday and Tuesday, I was on the back deck. Then Tuesday, I grilled out and made a pork loin and peas and baked potato and Texas toast on the grill. So my husband came in the back door again on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, and on Tuesday, when I was out on the deck, I wanted to spend the whole day out there. I didn't want to come in the house. And I was cleaning things and setting decorations and stuff up. And I looked over, I have 2 big blueberry bushes. They're about 6 foot tall. And I noticed that my blueberry bushes were moving. And I thought, well, it's not windy. So sorry to hear of your loss. Our pets are like our babies, like a best friend even. Yes, and he was my buddy. He was my shadow. But I was on the deck on Tuesday afternoon, and I said, it's like everything was leading me to do things to keep me busy. Life was saying, hey, look at this. Your bushes out there are moving. You only have 2 blueberry bushes. I thought, well, it's not windy. Well, I seen birds coming in them. And I walked out, and my blueberries were ready to be picked, the first picking. So I come in and got me a big strainer and went out and picked my blueberries. So it was keeping me busy, and I wasn't even thinking about, what should I do to keep me busy? And So I went out and picked my blueberries. And that's what I was saying today. You know, if you open your heart and your mind, it is absolutely amazing what life will do for you if you allow it. You know, like it was showing me to do this, you need, you know. And so I have the 2 bushes, and I was out there for quite a while, you know, picking my berries, and I brought them in. They still needed to ripen a little. And then yesterday, or was it? Yeah, yesterday I went on live on Wednesday, and I still wasn't ready to get in the car and go anywhere because I took Rebel for his last ride, and my husband wasn't able to go that day. And I just wasn't ready to get in the car because every time I got in the vehicle, unless it was go to the store or a chore, Rebel was there with me. Everything I did from the time I got up till the time I went to bed, it was me and Rebel. And I wasn't ready to get in the car. So yesterday, I finally went to the grocery store. And on my way to the grocery store, I noticed that they had their fruit and vegetable stand set up along the road. And I thought, well, yeah, you know, I'll stop there. So I stopped there and got to walk around and pick out a few things. And, you know, and I'm breathing the sunshine and I'm checking out everything. And then I went to the grocery store and came home. And I mean, it's amazing if you have an open mind, you know, life's going to say, hey, look at this, you know, and it's going to distract you, you know, and send you in the direction you need to be in. And I am so grateful, so grateful. Because I didn't know how I was going to make it. Monday was, Monday and Tuesday were really bad. And then I did the live the other day, and I said, you know, I'm trying to do something to occupy my mind. And I had gotten 2 decks of Oracle cards in the mail, and we hadn't opened them yet. So someone in the chats, you know, let them pick, and they picked the vintage Oracle cards, and they are so beautiful. And that was the first time I really got to open them and go through them. And then I still have the second deck that we haven't opened yet that I got in the mail. And this one's the Path of Shadows Oracle cards. And so I was on here over 2.5 hours, and we were going through the new deck that we opened that day and discussing the cards and then a few other things. And it was so amazing. You know, I'm grateful now that I have this channel because I'm not grieving alone. You know, I'm not sitting here and my mind's just getting all these overwhelming thoughts and memories. And you have a family, you know, when you open a channel like this and you have your subscribers. I'm so grateful for you because you're not alone. You know, and you can get on here, you can talk about things, you can visit with people, and it'll help distract your mind. And I want to get up every day and know that I'm a better person today than I was yesterday. And I'm so glad that you all are here and that you do come and that you help, that you're with me during my loss. And I appreciate it. You don't know how much I appreciate it. It's absolutely precious. But I got trying to set some structure in my life, and what am I going to do? And I thought, well, you know, we've got the camper. We only got to use it last year a few times, and you know, we can go down to the camper and we can open the camper and put all the extensions out and clean it, and you know, go somewhere and set it up near a little river or creek and enjoy some nature and get some fresh air. So I got a camper that needs cleaned and getting ready. It's almost like new. It's beautiful. And then we have, I think it was 3 or 4 different places that my husband wanted to go and do paranormal investigating. And I always like to do a complete research on the history. I do more investigating leading up to actually going for the investigation than I do when I get to the property, because I want to do a complete investigation. I want all the history, and I want it from legitimate sources. If they have uh, I have a lot of books, like different areas where I'm going to be going, and those books have a lot of the history, and they're really, really nice. And then if you go to the Historical Society, they normally have a lot of records. So basically, when I go into an investigation, I really go into an investigation. So I enjoy all the investigating and documenting prior to even getting all my equipment and putting it in a vehicle and getting ready to go to the investigation. So we've had, I think there's four that my husband really wants to go to. I was thinking about going to Penhurst, but it's such a big place. And with my inability to walk distances, I don't know how much of Penhurst I'd even really be able to investigate, because I'm limited on steps, I'm limited on walking, but I don't know. I mean, I'd really like to go before a lot of the buildings end up being demolished, because I know some of them they are demolishing. And once it's gone, it's gone. So I'm not really sure how to go about that yet, but I'm thinking about it. And then my husband was talking about, I think it's up in Weston, the Allegheny Insane Asylum. I think it's in Weston. I know that's not the exact name. Trans Allegheny, I think, or something like that they call it, up in Weston. And some of my family members have been there. My nephew was there, and my brother, and some of his family. And they said that they had got a lot of evidence when they were there. So my husband said he thought he'd like to go, but it's a lot of these places, if you go to rent them for the night, they're very expensive. And I think that when you have to have a maximum of like 10 or 20 people in a group, and it's like an outrageous price per person. I mean, it's how they use the paranormal. I mean, I can understand it if they're putting everything back into the building for the upkeep and for utilities and all of that. I can understand that. But my goodness, I mean, people, the way they profit off the paranormal is it's unreal, And but I know there's on my thumbnail today, that large building I was saying earlier, that is a facility. It's a mansion that's here local to me. And I actually went there. That's a picture that I took that night when I was standing outside of the building before I went in for the investigation. And that building is so intimidating, even before you get inside. I can't remember how many rooms, but the Historical Society has it. And what they charge, they're using that for the upkeep. They're remodeling it, trying to get it back as close to the original, what it was. So I think that's absolutely awesome. So I enjoyed that, but that thumbnail actually is, that's a real photo that I took that night, and it was a full moon, and it was dark, getting dark. They had some of the lights on, and I was standing out there, and I thought, man, this would be a beautiful picture. So I got out and took a photo. Well, I took a couple, and then I sat back down in the car, and I thought, well, you're by yourself tonight, going into this with a group that you've never been introduced to. So it was intimidating that night. But I'm glad I did it. I met a really nice group, and they don't fake anything. They don't, they don't make a mockery of it. I had followed them on YouTube and watched them, so I was familiar with their, their work and what they did. But I'd never met them in person. That was the first night I met them in person, and I'm glad that I did get the group experience versus going alone with just a couple people, because the group is you can get so much false uh, false, what would you call it, like you're in one room and you're thinking that you're capturing an EVP, and you're not. It's actually someone that's maybe on the other floor up above you or down below you. So you're getting so much contamination. So your evidence is just, it's not good. As big as the building was and as beautiful as it is, I only got to put a few things out that I didn't feel was contaminated by the size of the group, because there was probably close to 20 people there that night. And we had the first floor, the second floor, and then the small tower above. And when you have that many people and they're dividing up in 3 and 4 people, and even though they're trying to be quiet, they may have REM pods going or spirit boxes going, and you're trying to set someplace and do a recording, and all that was feeding back. So there was very little evidence that I actually got to put on my actual channel because of the noise contamination, so it was not, I wish it would have just been myself, my husband, and nobody else. I think we could have possibly had a better uh, investigation. But I'm glad I did that, because you got to meet other people that have been in the paranormal, and they all came there as a group. It didn't cost you like $1,000 to rent it for the night. It might have been, I think, $100 a person. So it made it more affordable for you to go by doing that. But now, if you had Penhurst, that whole Penhurst, yeah, that would have been great, to have that many people, because there's different buildings you could have split up in. You wouldn't have, I don't think, as much noise contamination there as a group. And I think something that big would be okay, for a group, but not if you just have one building and it's a mansion. And I would have rather it just have been myself and my husband and all of our equipment. But it's an experience I really enjoyed, and I definitely want to take my husband and get back there and let him, walk through, and I think he'd really enjoy it. And then see, what was there? I know the ones was Trans Allegheny in Weston. The other one was Penhurst. Now there was I've been to Moundsville, the prison. I was there. It was huge, very huge. And I was there on a day tour whenever I walked through it. And it was very intimidating. And that you could probably, if you had a group, you could probably take a group into something like that. But I don't know about, like I said, with me being so limited now on being able to climb a lot of stairs or to walk long distances, as long as we have it for the whole night, I think I'll be okay and be able to get a lot of it. But I'd have to pick out areas and say this, we're going to concentrate on this, this, and this. So in order for me to get a complete, really good investigation, I'm going to have to choose locations that I know that I'm going to be able to walk, or to, if it has steps that they're limited. because this is now they just put my second stimulator in because the first one messed up. So the second one seems to be doing really well. It's a smaller battery in my back, and the leads are into my spinal cord. And then it shoots the electrical pulses down to my foot and shocks the nerves in my foot that's all damaged from the injury at work. And so I'm doing really good. I'm getting a lot more exercise. I'm trusting myself more. My stability's a lot better, but I'm still limited. So that's what I have to be careful with. But like I said, I'm doing really good, keeping myself busy, planning things, scheduling things. And then today I said I had that rotisserie chicken last night and corn and baked beans. So tonight I'm going to debone that rotisserie chicken. Oh my goodness, it was so good. And I'm going to make some cream chicken over biscuits and maybe mashed potatoes. And I'm going to do that for dinner today. So I've been trying to come up with different ways to keep myself busy, and it's working really well. So I haven't, like I said, I haven't opened up the second new pack of Oracle cards yet. And then I have, I think, 2 more boxes of Oracle cards. The one box of tarot cards that I did my reading on, and then I did the reading on the one Oracle cards. And then I have another new deck of tarot cards, which I haven't opened, and it's a huge a container. Let me get it. This is a complete kit. It's huge, and I have not done anything with this kit yet. And it has a lot of stones in it. It has a real nice guide book in it. I mean, this I think is going to be a very nice. It has even a pendulum in it. I mean, this box is just full of goodies, all kinds of goodies. And I haven't been in the right mindset to get into that one yet. That one's going to take a little bit of work. And it is the Terra, I think it's Terlino, but it has it has feathers, it has stones, it has a cloth that you lay down, really pretty. It's then it's got the round wooden for the pendulum. It's got card holders. I mean, that box is just full of stuff. Staying busy helps me too when things happen out of my control. I totally understand that. And dinner sounds good. Oh, thank you. Yeah, every day I've been doing different things. I love to cook, love to bake. And I made some homemade fudge this week. And then, like I said yesterday, I did the rotisserie chicken and baked beans and corn, and I thought, well, I've got all the rest of that chicken. I can turn that into some cream of chicken, just debone that. Oh, that'll be so good. And maybe do whatever, mashed potatoes and biscuits. And and then one night I made meatloaf and mashed potatoes, and I can't remember, green beans maybe, and rolls. So yeah, I've been keeping myself very busy. I love to cook. Oh my goodness, I love to cook. I love to bake. And when I was putting those blueberries away, finally got them all washed. I let them set out. They had to set out 2 days to be completely ripe. But I didn't want the birds to get them because I only have the 2 bushes, and they're about 6 foot tall. And so when I got back from grocery shopping yesterday and got everything put away, I took my blueberries. I had them in a strainer, and I got 2-quart freezer bags, and I got those frozen. As I was putting them in freezer bags, I was thinking, oh, those would make really nice jam or jelly, or they would make a really nice pie, or a cobbler. Oh, I could just see a blueberry cobbler and blueberry pancakes and muffins. I was thinking of all the things, those beautiful blueberries. I was like, I guess my mind, and it was so amazing, that if you let life, it'll say, hey, look at this, look at these blueberries. Now, what all could you make out of those? And you took the time and went out and picked them, and and only had the 2 bushes, and that was my first picking. So I got 2-quart freezer bags of blueberries yesterday, put away yesterday. And then I have a dehydrator, so I'll probably start dehydrating because I mean my bushes are loaded. They are just loaded. So I went ahead and got my first picking off, and it's not ready for the next one. So the next one, I'll probably get my dehydrator out and dehydrate the next ones. But they tell you to freeze them first before you dehydrate the blueberries because they're like 80% water. And if you don't, it takes forever to dehydrate the blueberries. So you have to freeze them first so the skins will crack on them. And, but yeah, I was just thinking, my goodness, all the things I could make out of those 2-quart bags of blueberries. And then my husband came home and he's seen them and he's like, wow. He said, those look so good. He said, can we have some blueberry pancakes? And I said, yeah. I mean, just all he does, he loves anything blueberries. He is muffins, cobblers, pies, jam, jelly. So he's the same way. He was thinking of all the things we could do with them blueberries. He said, I looked at those this morning as I went by. He said, something just made me turn around and look at that bush, and I seen that those bushes were pretty full. And I said, yeah, I seen the bushes moving, didn't know why. And then I seen birds. So I'm just listening to life, all around me. What is it telling me to go do? Keep me busy, keep me occupied. And then, like I said yesterday, I would have probably just went straight to the grocery store and straight home. But so I was driving by, I noticed the little fruit and vegetable stand there along the road. And then I have a huge deck, and I have the hot tub, and then I have another little seating area with 2 rocking chairs, and I made the second area into my little garden, and I have a little herb. It's a 3-tier stainless steel oblong pans, and I have herbs in those. And then I have 2 of the big round stainless steel tubs. And last year I had cucumbers in one and green peppers in the other one. And then I had the hanging cherry tomato plant. And then have a little fountain there and my little fire pit. And that was basically my garden area. So I had my hot tub area, my garden area, and then I've got my bar, and I've got everything set up. It's got the 4 seats, and I've got all kinds of pelicans and beach decorations. So that's like my little beach area. And then I've got the love seat and coffee table. So I have all my deck is divided off like in these little, it's a wide open, but there's little sections. You can either be in the bar or the love seat or garden area. And so I went out there and worked on that this week. And my husband's the griller. He always grills, but this week I've been grilling. So definitely keeping busy. And but I'm so grateful for, just to have life say, hey, look at me, just the little things. And it just keeps your attention, keeps your mind busy, keeps you occupied. And I'm really glad. And I did charge up some of my paranormal equipment because I hadn't used it for a while. And I thought, well, I don't really have anything else to do. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to charge up some of my paranormal equipment. And I had the one piece out the other day. It wasn't charged, and it was kind of hard to even show anybody what it was because it wasn't charged and how it works. But it has a laser. So I need to be careful when I do try to show that one because I don't want to end up pointing a red laser into the camera and having somebody's eyeballs. But it's a very nice piece of equipment. It's called the GS2. And then I got my SLS out and put it on charge. And that's the one where you see the little stick figures in the dark. And so I got the SLS charged. I got the GS2 charged. And then I had the two camcorders setting out, and I got one of them charged. And then I have I use trail cameras. I got some trail cameras because I can set them up as static cameras, and then they have night vision. So if I want to set them up for movement, they just work like out in the woods when an animal walks in front of them. It's going to trigger the motion sensor, and you have the night vision. So I got those out and started looking at, and I even forgot I have dowsing rods. I was like, I haven't used dowsing rods for a long time. The guy that actually was showing me the dowsing rods, he was looking for water on his property, and he used the dowsing rods, and they actually would show him, where the water was. And it was amazing, how and he'd walk away and they'd separate. And sure enough, that was what he was looking for if they were going to do a well. And it was amazing to watch him use the dowsing rods. And if you watch someone that knows what they're doing and they're doing it correctly, and then they can actually verify it, by saying, look at this, here's what it was showing me. And now here's the actual proof that they were working. So I'd even forgot that I had the dowsing rods. And as you start going through your stuff, you forget what you have, because I haven't had anything out for a while. And then what else was it I ran onto? Oh, I had a pendulum that a lady had came to my home, and she had given me a couple stones and a pendulum. And she was showing me how to use it. And of course, if you watch some people when they're using it, you can actually see the movement. And I asked her if I could put it on like a frame of something and then put the pendulum on it. And she said, you could do that for movement, like if you wanted to do it to see if there was any movement in a place that was close to you. But she said, if you really want to use it for a reading, you have to hold it. And I don't know the way I shake if I could actually do the pendulum without having movement because I have nerve damage. So I don't know about that. But I'm willing to try. But And then she said, now no one has used this pendulum. And that's what she told me. She said, make sure no one has ever used the pendulum that you get. Make sure it's new and make sure no one ever has used it, because then it's your energy in that pendulum. And she said the same thing with your dowsing rods. Don't let anybody else use your dowsing rods. If they're your dowsing rods, then don't let anybody else use them, because then it's just you and your energy only. So, and that the older gentleman said that too, that he never lets anybody use his dowsing rods. So I'm kind of open to different things. I'll check them out, and see what I think. But they have to be, if I don't have anything that's going to be factual when I'm using it, like the spirit boxes, to me, that is for entertainment purposes only. And if you read the handbook, that's what it tells you. And a lot of the equipment that you see people are using, it was created for entertainment purposes only. It's not to be used as something factual. Now you can, I'm sure anytime that you're on an investigation, you're going to get maybe a few words that might come through a spirit box that may have something to do or maybe relevant to the place that you're at. But I mean, I have one that static, I can't understand anything. Now my daughter likes to do the Estes method, where she's in the dark and then she has the blindfold on with noise canceling headphones, and I can go in another room or in the same room if I can't get out of that room and whisper and she can't hear me, and then I'll ask a question and then she'll call out the answer. And that's a very, very good experiment that to do, because it makes you go, because you're getting answers that there's no way that I know my daughter would know. I do the history, the research, but she wouldn't know, that she wouldn't know the names. She wouldn't know a lot of the information that I know. So if I ask a question and she can't hear me and she's just got that on and all that static going, and then she's answering back, relevant answers, whoever come up with that method was very, it's very interesting, because, you have so many senses. And when you go into a dark place, some of your senses is already interfered with. So then you take away everything, and you're in the dark, you have a blindfold on, you can't hear. So now your hearing, is affected, your sight's affected, and all you're hearing is what's coming through that headphone, and that static, and every now and then words. So that's all you can concentrate on. So I mean, everything basically goes to listening, because you have no other senses that you can still smell, you can still taste, you can still feel, but your sight and your hearing are jeopardized at that point. So it's a very good experiment, and have legitimate words came through doing that with, yes, it has. And it's amazing, and I think that's probably the way I mostly use the spirit box. Now, the other one I have, I've got the regular SP7, then I have the Pro, and the Pro has the temperature light on it as well, and alarm. So if the temperature gets warmer, it has a red light, and it'll light up red and then alarm. Or if the temperature drops, it has a blue light and an alarm. So I would use it more probably for that than I would for anything else. And then we were talking about the apps that people use, the ghost hunting apps. And so a lot of it, if you think about it, the app's loaded down on your phone. And if you have your name coming through the app, and it just says your name. To me, it's like, well, you've allowed it access to your phone in order to use it. And to me, that's nothing but for entertainment purposes only. And I'll go if I'm bored, yeah, I'll and walking around, nothing's happening. I might turn on an app. But are they legitimate? Do I believe they're factual? No. You know. Now you may get something come through just randomly, but no, I don't think they're real. And if you've ever been around real paranormal, then you know what it is, like I know. Then when you see somebody making a mockery, with using spirit boxes and ghost apps and all that stuff, you get angry. You get angry, and then you have to tell yourself, instead of getting angry, why don't you try to educate? Don't get angry. Just educate. And if you can actually use that piece of equipment and then show how it is or is not accurate and how it should and should not be used, and don't get upset or angry because you see people making a mockery of it. Be positive. Use the information that you have, the education that you have, and educate others and say, yes, this, and this are factual. Hi, Dizzy. Thank you for joining. We're just discussing some paranormal and ghost hunting and drinking coffee. And I was discussing my loss of my dog this week, my beautiful 13-year-old Maltese. His name was Rebel. So I was trying to keep myself busy and just coming on and saying hello to everybody and just keeping my mind occupied for a little bit this morning. So what do you all think of the paranormal? I mean, do you feel that the paranormal is real, or do you feel that it's just, in somebody's mind, or, what's your actual thoughts about the paranormal? Now with me, I have to believe in the paranormal because of my experiences. And it wasn't just once or twice, it's been over 20 years. I believe our ancestors and angels are here to help and guide us through life. Exactly, yes. And my ancestry, that one, I think it was my great-grandfather, great-great-grandmother. My great-great-grandmother was Indian. And the Native Americans all believed in everything spiritual, so a lot of that may have been sent down through our bloodline. And I believe everybody, if their mind was open, that they would actually be more accepting of the paranormal. And mine was just thrown on me. I'd never had an experience. And then whenever I went to that surgery, it was very bad. And they lost me twice during that surgery. And the last time they didn't think they were going to get me back. I was only 20. And that day, when I woke up, my life changed. And I started noticing things shortly after that, maybe weeks or months, but little things, like I would hear something and nobody around me could hear it, or I'd see something and no one around me could see it, or I'd smell something and nobody could smell it, or almost have a taste it. I mean, at first I thought I was absolutely losing my mind. And then I ended up just trying to deal with it, and not talk about it and not, I don't, just kind of, well, that was just whatever, I'm not even going to, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. And now, 42 years later, yeah, it happened. I always have dreams of my great grandfather. I believe he visits me in dreams. And I have American Indian in my bloodline. And I really believe in that. I mean, I go to Indian powwows, and my husband and I went to several, and it's amazing. Even the beat of the drum, I don't know what it is with just the beat of the drum. It almost like it calls to you, like it's something that should be familiar with. Maybe not with you, but it was like that with me. And the Indian flute, it's almost like that, like it's something so familiar that like you're familiar with. You must be clairvoyant. Um, no, I don't believe I am. Um, I don't believe I'm clairvoyant. Maybe sensitive. I always called it sensitive. I'm sensitive to things. Um, like right after that happened, about 6 months after that happened to me, my husband and I and my daughter were in the vehicle going down the road, and all of a sudden I told him, stop, because we were going down this real windy road and it was real sharp turns. And he said, what? I said, hit the brakes now. And he hit his brakes, and he was looking, what? And I'm just sitting there, and he said, what? I don't see anything. And I said, I don't know. I just know you needed to stop. And then he's like, are you all right? And I said, I don't know. Because then, all that was just starting with me. And I was like, never mind. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why I said it. Well, he started around the turn. And just as we started around the turn, we couldn't see. There was a huge 4-car accident. And if we had not have hit our brakes when we did, we would have been right in the middle of it. You can see, hear, feel, taste, and yes, I can. And yes. And I mean, it's not something that happens every day. It doesn't happen every time. Yeah. Yeah, you can smell things that other people can't smell. You can feel things, sense, things. Temperature changes are very, very, yeah. And that's why a lot of the equipment I wanted to get equipment that could detect, just because I'm feeling this, is it actually happening, around me at the same time? Can it give me the evidence that, yes, the temperature did drop, or yes, the temperature did raise? And using the digital recorders, if I think I'm hearing something, I'll use a digital recorder, and then I also have the mini micro tape, and I'll run both the digital and the micro to see if something else is picking up what I may be hearing that no one else is hearing. And then we have the camcorders that have the infrared. We have the trail cams, like you put out in the woods, and you can leave them in the woods, and when animals come back and forth, it has night vision and motion and sound. Then we have the regular camera. Then we have the full spectrum camera, and each one of those is going to give you something that your normal eyesight couldn't see, or like a normal camera, you may not pick it up on a normal camera. But through the what one was it? I think it's the, now I like the night vision, the IR, but the full spectrum, I like it because sometimes whenever I'm looking at green, if it's done like in a green and it's night and it's dark, I can't really detect maybe something that's in that green. But if I put it over onto a pink, you can change the color and my eyes will pick up something more on the pink than it will on the green. So I don't just want one piece of equipment and say this is what I got. I want different pieces of equipment that can, all of them working together. Can any of these show me what I'm actually, seeing on one? Am I seeing it on another one? I've got stuff that will detect motion, and some things have to be right up on top of it, or it literally has to touch it. So, but I don't feel that I'm in any way a psychic or anything, but I always called it sensitive, that I was sensitive to the things around me. And a lot of deja vu. You felt like you've been there before. You're having this conversation. The whole thing is like a rewind in your brain. It's deja vu. You've seen it. I'll have deja vu, and it may be someplace that I've never even been to, never even thought about. And then one day, whenever I'm there, I'm like, I've done this before. It's so, yeah, it's weird. It's really weird, and now it's easy for me to talk about because I went to a psychiatrist, and I said, I want you to run every test that you can, neurologically, everything. When this is happening around me, is my brain waves changing? Is something happening? So they did the little, the lead, all of that, because I wasn't sure if maybe I had some kind of a brain malfunction because of the lack of time that it took them to get me back the second time. And then I went to college, and I went to a liberal arts college. And with that, I had to you couldn't just take your major. You had to take all these liberal art minor classes. So we had to take religion, philosophy, sociology, all these different arts. Everything you can think of. So that gave me a more rounded picture of different things that could help me determine what was happening around me and what was happening to me. So with me, the first thing was to make sure I wasn't depressed. I wasn't having some type of a psychotic episode, because you keep telling yourself this is not real. This is not real. And then why me? Why is this happening to me? Why can't somebody else around me feel this? Why is it just me? So I think I fought it. Where most people go out looking for paranormal, mine was just thrown on me. I didn't ask for it, didn't want it, and I sure wouldn't pay anybody for it. If anything, I've spent a lot of money trying to figure out why. Why is this happening to me? And but am I a psychic? No. Am I clairvoyant where I can tell you what's going to happen? No, I don't think so. More sensitive. Now, if I go, there's certain places, even if we're driving down the road and we pass a place, I'll get this overwhelming, my stomach will just, I can just look at this place and say, oh, I'd like to go in there. It's like it speaks to me. I don't speak to it. Oops, I'm sorry. I thought my phone was off. But yeah, it's different. That's cool that there's that kind of equipment that senses the afterlife around you. Yeah, and that's why I called this channel Real Paranormal Investigations, because what I'm trying to prove is, everything around us, if you think about it, it's alive. It's it has a season. And just like it begins in the spring and it goes through all the different changes, and it grows and it blooms and it blossoms, and then in the fall, everything changes colors as it begins to fade off, and then you go into your winter and it's dormant. Humans are the same. We're energy. We are born, we live, we strive, we grow, and then we pass away. And I think that we are just part, all of it's, this is what I've learned through this, is we're all connected. Whether you want to be or not, we're all energy. And I really do believe, my opinion only, that you are forever. You are an energy, and it is, even when you pass away, you're still there. You can maybe go to heaven and, then come back if you have places that you enjoy or people that you want to come visit. To me, I feel like, everything around us, if you pay attention, we're connected and you can feel it. And I think that if more people were more, I'm glad that you have a lot of people that agree 100%. Yeah, because you can feel it. If you think about it, even your weather changes will change you for the day. If you wake up and it's cloudy and it's rainy and it's damp and it's cold, you're like, your mood goes down. When that sun comes up and everything's bright, and you walk outside and everything's sunny and it's warm and there's flowers, you feel that and you breathe it in. And it's every single minute of every day, I think, helps balance out who we are, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. And if more people are open-minded and accept that and not go out being silly and faking and scamming people, now that I have a problem with, but if people actually do it in the proper way, they can prove. And that's what helped me come out more with what I deal with, is all of these different paranormal groups. And I started watching, and they were using different equipment, and they were showing their different equipment and how it could actually help them determine if there was atmospheric changes, in your camcorders and your audio and your, all this. And more groups started coming out and talking about it. And for people like me, it made it easier. And now that I'm older, and I'm realizing, that maybe something that has happened to me, that I can leave evidence, and, something, that someone else may pick up and say, okay, well, she went through this, this, and this, and then this is the evidence that she had. And maybe it's someone else that's going through the same thing or similar to what I am. And if I can be a teacher, and because I'm learning right now, the world is my professor. I got off of energy on a daily basis. Oh, I go off of energy on a daily basis. When I encounter bad energy, I stay away from it. And you do. And that's what I was saying earlier. I think I was talking to myself, but I probably do that a lot anyway. That every day you have to you have choices that you make. And for every action, there's a reaction. And it can be the simplest thing. If you turn on your water, for example, and your sink's clogged or a pipe burst, there's going to be a reaction. So, even the simplest thing that you do, there can be a reaction. I found out a friend of mine passed away recently. She was like a grandma to me. We had a falling out, and I found out she died. It made me sad. I didn't have no recollection. Oh, I'm so sorry. But I'm sure that she understands. And spirits, people forget. A lot of people, I'm sure you don't, but a lot of people forget that spirits are people. And when I see all these people going in and they're being aggressive and silly, if I'm a spirit and you want me to give you answers, I want you to talk to me like a person. And I have found out that if you remember that these spirits, now there is some that are not, of course, but most of your spirits are a person that has passed away. And if you use kindness and patience and talk to them, and just because they passed away doesn't mean they still do not come and visit you, and they don't feel your grief and feel your confusion. Sorry to hear that. It's a scene. Yes. So I'm sure that she understands. She's feeling your spirit, and you wish that things could have been different. And I'm sure that all you have to do is speak it. She's going to hear you. She knows your heart already. I'm sure she knows your heart already. And that's what I do. If like a friend of mine, very, very close, was passing, and I was working, and I had already set up to go to their funeral, and people called off, and I ended up being called in and couldn't go. And I was very upset because I wanted to be there and I could not be at her funeral. And it was like a couple days. I think I was beating myself up and I was upset. And it was like her spirit came to me and said, Tammy, it's okay. I feel you, but you got to let it go. It's let it go. I was going to say the same thing. She just talk to her and she'll hear you. Yes, yes, exactly. And they do. And I mean, to me, it was almost like she said, it's okay, you know. And I mean, she was my best friend, growing up, going through school. And I thought, there's no way I can miss this funeral. And I mean, I did. I beat myself up and beat myself up. And she was like, hey, we're not kids anymore. We grew up. I know that you wanted to be there and couldn't be, but you were there. You were there spiritually, you were there mentally, and I love you. And it's okay. And it's like she didn't actually come right out and speak it to me, but it was like she mentally gave me that it's okay. And I think that's why she came to visit me, because she knew I was beating myself up because things happen. And sometimes you wish you could change it, but all you have to do is talk to them. They hear you. They hear you. 100% they hear you. Trust me, they do. And I said, people want to go ghost hunting in the dark, which is good because you can get some things in the dark that you can't get in the daylight. She gave you that peace. Yes, she did. And I mean, and it was just like a weight just lifted. It was, I was carrying that weight and that burden, and she didn't want me to do that. She was like, don't do that. Your heart's too big and you're going to carry this. And, you got a daughter, you got a life, you got to work. Come on, let it, shake it off, shake it off. And she was a wonderful person, wonderful. And, but like I was starting to say, people want to go in the dark and go ghost hunting, which just makes it takes away some of your senses. So other senses have to accommodate for that. And sometimes, you can catch things in the dark that you cannot catch in the light. But I've had a lot of things captured in broad daylight, with the equipment that I have. My grandmother always said everything happens for a reason. My grandmother always said that, and she also said everything happens for a reason, and it happens in a season. And I can remember her saying that, everything happens for a reason, honey, and it happens in a season. So, yeah, she was a Mennonite. Oh my goodness, she was beautiful, beautiful spirit, and wonderful, wonderful woman. Strong. Oh my goodness, she was strong. And even though she's not here anymore, I still can just think about her, and I can just smell all that food, all that. She always had something going in the kitchen, and oh my goodness, it was the best ever. Her cookies, I tried to make her cookies. They were a sugar cookie, and they were so fluffy and had the little sugar crystals on the top, and mine ended up just like a hockey puck. And Grandma always told me, if you want your cooking and your baking to turn out, you have to have your mind set on love, because love's what makes the cooking work and the baking work. I miss my ancestors that I knew in life. I wish I could talk to them. You can. All you have to do, hon, is just speak to them. You don't need a spirit box. That's nothing but it can actually cause more damage than good. It was created not for nothing more than entertainment purposes only. But you don't have to have any of that. I've actually had a candle lit, nothing more than a candle, and no fans on, or no AC, or no furnace. And the candle would have a perfect flame. And I would be sitting there, and I would talk to someone that I had lost. And I'd say, I wish that you were here with me. And then I'd say, if you're here with me, can you make my candle flame? And it would. It would change. It looked like wind taking that straight flame. And I had sat there with a videoing it straight until I asked that question. And then it flickered. So you don't have to have any major expensive equipment. All the way around us, it's energy. We're energy, and you have, like I'd said before, ley lines all over. And people build structures, and some of them are built on a ley line. And they think that the disturbances that they're getting in their home is due to spirits or some kind of haunting. And it could even just be that they were actually built on a ley line or close to a ley line. And the energy that's being put off from it was there before they ever built the structure, and it's now within that structure, and you can actually detect that. And that's why I like the pieces of equipment that I get, and most of them are the most simple things. Like if someone says, I can't keep my door closed, that door keeps opening. I've got it on video, it's opening, and I'll close it and it'll open. You can go in and use the simplest thing as a little tiny level, lay it on the floor. Is the floor level? Has the structure settled? Is something off with the structure? And it's not the door itself, and it's not a spirit, and it's not something evil opening the door. It could be something just as simple as a structure. It's a house settled and it's leaning to one side. And if you have someone come in that knows how to reset your door, they can reset your door hinges to where it will adjust to the settling of the house. Because if you look at my level, the bubble's not in the center, it's going this way, which means your door is going to be at a bind, and it's going to keep coming open. And then once they go in and readjust those hinges, they can adjust them where that door will stay closed. So when I go in to do an investigation, like I've said many times, I don't go in to prove that it's haunted. I go in to prove that it's not haunted. And it's, can I totally, completely debunk this? And, that's the way I go about it. Agree. Yes. you know. And when I start watching some of these people, that's what I said that one day on my live. I said, you have some of these where the door is going, something's banging on the door, boom, 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 and you open the door and nobody's there. And you close the door and walk away and it does it again. I said, that would scare the bejesus out of me, you know. And I've been experiencing paranormal for 42 years now. But if something starts doing that to me, it probably scare the bejesus out of me. I had a pot of water sitting in front of me, and I asked my great grandfather, if you're here, give me a sign in this water. I tapped the water and took a picture. The silhouette was in the water. See, exactly. You do not have to have anything expensive. Oh, that gave me chills. Maybe that was that gave me chills. Yeah, I mean, the simplest things that you have, and what is water? Again, that's maybe what I'm trying to, maybe that's the message that was sent to me today, is everything around us is what helps us to be us and create us. And you got your water, you got your fire, you got all your elements, you know, and then us, and we're energy, you know, and all this is going to work together. Exactly. Water is energy. Exactly. I agree. So, you know, that's the way I look at it. And maybe mine's because I'm maybe overeducated and I don't want to come off in a rude way and or hurt anybody's feelings in any way. I'd rather do it as an educational thing, you know, due to the many years I've had to try to find answers. And I'm still, every day, I look for answers, you know, and I'm probably not going to quit looking for answers till the day that I become a spirit and someone's out there asking me questions. And then I'm probably going to want to try to help teach someone even then. But yeah, we're all energy. And I think where we run into a problem is whenever people forget. You know, they forget as a child from the age, I think it's birth to 3, your brain develops and creates and maintains more in that time period than the rest of your life. My great grandfather has a bald head and a really long beard, and I saw that in the water. Yeah, I mean, and you can, and people will probably say, "Oh, that was just a reflection in the water, and that was just makeup," and no, it didn't happen. If they want you to see them, and they know that you believe, um, just like with any religion, if they truly believe in their religion, then they're going to sense those things and they're going to believe those things. And I really think a lot of it is what you believe. You know, do you have an open mind, or are you the type person that's just going to say, you know, that's fake, that's not real? You know, if it's done correctly and it's done with respect, um, and you do it in a way that you know is not going to bring any harm or hurt to anybody, I don't think there's anything at all wrong with that. Now, even as gentle as you try to be, you can get in over your head. And whether you want to or not, you can go into a place and something can attach to you. And then you will have to have help to get that to pass and to move on. That happened to me. And that's not a good thing. And even though I was being very cautious, very careful, it still happened. And I had a black shadow, and I caught it on camera, that would walk literally out of one door and across that hallway and back. And literally, I mean, it was a big black shadow. And I had never seen anything like that. any place I lived, just boom, there it was. So I ended up having to get a group come in, and I told them what I was experiencing. I showed them my evidence, and then I left and I let them do their thing. And they caught everything on their cameras and their equipment, everything that I had stated. They actually got proof of it. And then they did a cleansing, went there and done a cleansing for me. So, yeah, that's sure true, Tammy. It's a scary thing. Yes. And it was, because at first I thought, you know, what on earth, and you almost felt like a darkness, that was there. And my husband and I are like best friends. I mean, if one of us is wanting to jump on the Harley and go for the ride, the other one's like, well, heck yeah, let's do it. Want to go camping? Heck yeah, let's do it. You want to build a campfire? I'll get the wood, you get the piece of paper, we'll do a campfire. I mean, so this shadow thing was actually bringing um, darkness. My home didn't seem as bright. The sun didn't seem to shine in as bright. It was like it was bringing darkness. And I didn't like it. I knew something just didn't feel right. And then even my husband, he was like, why did I just snap at you like that? And I said, well, I don't know. I said, but I snapped at you 2 days ago. And he said, is there something I should know? And are you sensing something? I said, I just feel like something's not right. He said, well, I don't think it is either. He said, because this is just not our normal. But it would have probably driven something between my husband and I if it could have. It was not. It was not a good spirit. And I was in a jail, in a haunted jail. And I really, really think that because and he went with me. And that night when we walked in the door, when we shut the door, I have a clock on my wall that's been there for 8 years. And the minute we come in and close the door, started walking through the living room, and that clock flew off the wall and landed on the floor. The night that we come home from that haunted jail. So it was, yes. And my husband and I both thought, well, boy, that's weird. But we were both tired. We'd been up all night. We didn't think anything of it. And then, that I think that was its way of telling us it followed us home. I don't know if it touched to me because I wasn't challenging it. My husband did challenge it some. So I don't know if it was him that because he challenged it or if it attached to me because it knew I was sensitive and I could feel it. And it was not good. Did it hurt us? Did it scratch us and bruise us and drag us out of the bed in the middle of the night? No. But it was just like our bright home was almost like the bulbs weren't as bright as they should be. And it was just dark, darkness. I believe the dark ones are bad. Yeah, the white ones are good, definitely. Now, your white ones, if I see something white, that doesn't bother me. I even have what's called a shadow box. Do I believe that there is dark shadows? You darn right I do. Yeah, bad. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the dark ones are bad. Yes. Because, like I said, our home has got all these windows and it's so bright. And my husband was even noticing it. He said, do we need to get new bulbs in these lights? He said, for some reason, they just don't seem as bright. He said, so we thought maybe it was the bulbs. I mean, we tried everything. And then we realized after several months, it's went on almost a year. We have a lot of historic places in Kansas City. Yes, you do. I've always wanted to investigate. Is that Saucer Castle? I think I've heard of that. Now that if you do go investigate, just make sure that you do some kind of protection before you go. Because what I always try to do is, you can imagine how bright the sun is when you look at the sun and it's on its brightest bright. I want that bright light to start inside of me and then just come out and then just completely cover me completely. Sawyer, okay, pronounced Sawyer, okay. But I always try to keep light all the way around me. Evil does not like light. I'm sorry, I don't care what anybody tells you, but so I always light a candle. Always sage myself. Always envision, like I said, a white light, and I want it to be so bright that it literally completely covers me. And I pray for protection, that nothing evil comes. And but evil, anything dark, they do not like the light. They do not like anything that's loving or kind or sweet, innocent, sweet. They will pray. They will prey on someone that has a big heart and that's loving and kind, and they will try to just break them down to where there's nothing but an angry, lonely person that is left. So if you go out to investigate, I would always say, please do your research, how to protect yourself. Understand that not everything that you're seeing or hearing is a spirit, and it's not evil. It could be just a structure itself. You have to be well informed, and then make sure that you do document everything. And then whenever you're going back through, what I always try to do is I have the history, and then I try to go in and see if there's anything that matches the history, and then is there things that people have actually called haunted, and it's nothing more than a structural problem, or it's an old steam system where they have the steam radiators and it's steam building up and making all the clunking, or like the one place we were at, I think it was Bobby Mackey's at the Honky Tonk. My husband and I were sitting in one of the cells, and two girls come down and we're in the outer room over where that portal to hell, the well, the hole in the ground was at. And something started making a loud, horrible rattling noise, and the girls started screaming, and they swore that the walls were literally vibrating. And I mean, they were screaming. And so we came out of the cell. Well, my husband went out to see what was going on. I heard that's a lot of historic haunted places in Independence. I heard that a lot of historic haunted places in Independence, Missouri. President Truman. Yes, yes. And see, you're never, if you want to become an investigator, you're never out of school. You're always in school. You're always researching and reading and documenting. And but what I was saying about Bobby Mackey's, and there's girls screaming. My husband, of course, he got up to go see what was going on. He wanted to make sure that they were okay. And they told him, they said, the walls are vibrating. And he couldn't, well, my husband had his own company for 30 some years, and he was a construction. He built houses from the ground up, did it for 30 some years. So he knew everything in and out of structure from, ground up. Then he was a certified electrician, certified plumber. So the girls are screaming, and he says, wait, calm down a minute. He said, the walls are not vibrating. It's not the walls. And they said, what is it? And there was a pipe that ran overhead. And he said, Tammy, holler upstairs and ask somebody upstairs if they'll flush the commode. So someone upstairs flushed the commode and it done it again. And the girl said, oh my gosh, I thought the walls, they literally thought that wall was shaking and shimmying, and they were screaming, but all it was the drain from the commode upstairs, and it was set up against the wall, and there was a piece of metal, and where it ran through the wall, that metal would jog because of the pressure of the water going through. And there was a gun massacre in 1930 at our Union Station. Ooh, okay. The bullets are still there to this day. Oh my. I'm so sorry to hear that. And you know, that would be someplace that I would not want to investigate, not with the way that I feel things, because those emotions are implanted. And have you ever heard of the stone tape theory? Where if something happens, it can be embedded into the stone or the wood of the actual structure. And a lot of things that happen that are dramatic and quick, they say it will imprint on the stone. I'm still laughing about I'm sorry, I'm laughing about the toilet story. Yeah, so I mean, something as simple as that. Now, if my husband had not been there, those girls would have been running upstairs and screaming and hollering and swearing that the walls was rattling and the place was ready to come down on them. And that well, that hole that they call the portal to hell, that some demon come up out of it. And it was nothing more than a toilet being flushed upstairs, and whoever was their hack plumber, is whenever he put that pipe through the wall, he didn't seal it like it should have been sealed. He just took a piece of metal and stuck up there, and every time that it would flush, it would jiggle from the pressure of the water coming down through the pipes. And it would sound, I mean, it sounded horrible. It's terrifying if you didn't know what it was. And how he kept that. I guess nobody really went in the basement because it was a honky tonk and they had music playing, so nobody probably heard the toilet flushing downstairs. So yeah, that's, so really you have to educate yourself. And I mean, there's a lot of things I would like to have more equipment, but I just pick up one thing at a time and something that I know is going to help. And I'm looking at all the environmental, everything around me. We had our parade to celebrate our Chiefs last season, one woman dance, because there was a shooting outside of the Union. Oh, that is sad. I would not. I mean, I have seen people want to go in and do investigations where there's been something tragic like that. Me, even going in prisons, I realized when we went in a haunted jail, and I went into a haunted prison, or a prison, you can just feel, I mean, it's not good, and I thought I was ready for that. And that was when I was very first getting into it. And I went to Moundsville prison, and it has a very, very evil past. And you can feel it. You can feel it. And then you see how small, if you're actually standing there and you see how small those cells are, and then how many men were packed in them cells. I mean, every day, all day, it's sad. Sad for the evil that's going on in the world. I really wonder if I don't. Sometimes you wonder. Yeah, Moundsville, West Virginia, and just look up the worst prison in West Virginia, and it is. They even when they had it made, when they built it, the prisoners built it stone by stone. The prisoners built that. It has the Gothic. It's almost Gothic, and it's so intimidating. And that's what they wanted. They wanted every prisoner that was coming through there, the minute that they would drive up to that place, that they'd see how intimidating it was. And when you entered inside, it had a round cage, and you had to step into the cage, and then it would go around, and that's how you would get the prisoners would get out to certain floors. It was a round metal, and the wardens and their family actually lived there on the top floor. And the prisoners, I think there were a lot more prisoners there than should have been, and the cells were so small. And a lot of those were not kept up to standards, and that was one of them. And they had riots, and the prisoners demanded, get rid of the mice and the other things that were running around the prison. And I mean, it was that bad. But yeah, you'll have to look it up. It's in West Virginia. It's in Moundsville, West Virginia. And it's huge. And you can just feel the weight. Let me see if I can pull that up for you. Moundsville Penitentiary. Yes, it's West Virginia. It's called West Virginia Penitentiary, and it's in Moundsville, West Virginia. And it is they will take you on tours. And I was going to see if they had I don't think they've got a very good picture on it. Yeah, that looks like a castle. Yeah, they did it in they wanted it to be intimidating, and it's almost Gothic. And the prisoners, it's a Gothic century. And the brick, all that stone, the prisoners built that prison, the prisoners that were there. Yeah. And when you walk in there, there's so much heaviness. I mean, there's some parts of it that you don't feel that, but you can just feel the heaviness and almost anger. You almost feel yourself getting angry. I mean, it's that it's not a nice place. And there was a lot of prisoners. I don't know if they were buried on that site or if some of them were sent back to their families, but they even had a gallows whenever it was first opened, and they would have public, on the gallows. And so one didn't go very good. And then after that, they canceled them and quit doing doing them public. And then they had the electric chair, and it's there. You can actually see the actual electric chair that's there. They call it Old Sparky. So, I mean, that was not something I think my spirit really wanted to see or experience. a lot of people enjoy that, going to places like that. But for me, it was just so heavy, so much anger and so much. I don't know. I don't know how. You're just maybe it's just me, and because I could feel things that I don't know. But my husband wants to go back, but I told him if I go back, I definitely want to prepare myself. And now that I'm older and I've experienced other places, it might be okay. But that is a very sad, sad place. And a lot of the artwork on the walls. One of the prisoners painted the artwork, and you talk about beautiful. They almost look like a framed oil painting, different on different floors in different places. And one of the prisoners painted them, and they are absolutely beautiful. I mean, they are absolutely beautiful. And it's a shame that someone had that much talent that was there for their entire life, that they could have done something with their life. They could have made so much money. And I mean, that the artwork is so detailed and so talented. And then you find out that a prisoner did it. And yeah, I mean, and they had different shops that they made stuff. I mean, a lot of them they tried to reform, but most of them were the worst of the worst, and that's why they were there. Yeah, I think the bottom floor, there was one section where they were basically there 23 hours a day. I think they took them out 1 hour a day out of their cell, and otherwise they were there 23 hours a day in that little tiny cell. And it's depressing. It's no, no, it's not something that I enjoyed. Now, I don't mind even walking around a cemetery. I have a video where I walked around a cemetery and it had a mound in it. The earthworks is what it was called. And the mound was actually 6 foot taller, but they, for some reason, took 6 feet off of it and built the town around it. And it's a Indian mound. And I went there in the daylight and walked around. And of course, it's very well maintained. And they got a set of steps up the mound, and you can go up on top, and there's benches on top that you can sit. But I had a REM pod that, well, maybe has went off in 2 years, maybe once or twice. I could not set that REM pod down on that mound, and it wouldn't quit going off. So there's a lot of something there, but I don't know if it would be artifacts that could be setting it off. I don't know. But that to me was very strange. The risk that I mentioned at our Union Station, they were transporting a prisoner to Leavenworth Bend. Oh, 3 gangsters were trying to break him free. And the train ended up, oh no, oh my. That prisoner was the one. Wow. Wow. That's sad, and how many others lost their lives because of one person. How sad. Like I said, I think I'd be overwhelmed because I'm sensitive. Because when you're sensitive, if you go in a place and there is a spirit, they know that you can feel them and sense them, and they will try to let you know that they know that you can sense them. And it can be very, overwhelming. And I don't think I'd want to expose myself to that. I'm really cautious about what I choose and where I choose, because I know now that something can attach to you and can follow you home. And it was so unexpected, was not expected at all, because to us, it wasn't really even that scary of a place, but yet that was the place that something attached and came home with us. So, yeah. So I don't think I'd want to. I don't think I'd want to go there. And a couple of our police. Oh, no. When was that it happened? Several years ago, or that wasn't recently? Well, oops, I froze up. I'm sorry, I froze up. Was that a long time ago, or was that recent? That wasn't recent, was it? Because I don't watch a lot of news. I watch YouTube, and that's enough to make me have nightmares. So I'd have to look it up, and but I don't. I mean, I don't think I'd be able to go do that. And like I said, I'm particular about what I want to expose myself to, and I don't think I would do good with a lot of people. 1933. Okay, yeah, a long time ago. Energy. That there's a lot of stonework there, which there probably is. That's what I was talking about with the stone tape theory. If something like that happens and it's really dramatic, fast, um, it can imprint on the stone and on wood. That's like if you go into a lot of these mansions that are haunted, if you look at it, most of them are built with sandstone and marble. I mean, you look at the stone and the wooden floors and so much wood. And the stone tape theory is saying that it can imprint on that. And a lot of times it's not even like if it's haunted, it's not like it's trying to hurt somebody. It's almost like a movie playing again and again and again. It can happen, say 7:30 every night, or 10 or 12 or 11 or 3 a.m. that they hear somebody come up the steps, or it's what it does is it's like a movie that keeps replaying and replaying and replaying. And so you have different types of uh, hauntings and paranormal. And you can have one that's active, that you can actually catch it, and you can actually document it, everything. And then you might have your ones that are structural, and it's really not anything but the structure, like that commode story, toilet story I was telling you about. Um, and then you can have evil, and evil does exist. I mean, we all know there's good and evil. So you have to be really careful, and you have to know, because the evil ones don't always come out and tell you, hey, I'm evil. Thank you for coming. No, they're the ones that will try to fool you. A lot of them, the people may be seeing a child, a child, a child. It's not a child. It's not a child at all. It's just the opposite. It's just trying to get their trust. Yeah, it took me years to believe in my feelings that I thought didn't make sense. I learned the hard way. Almost 10 years now. I followed gut feeling. And out of all the tools, and someone asked me, what is the best tool that you have? And I told them, I said, out of all the tools I have, my body is my best tool, because you can see, hear, smell, taste, and feel. And your body will let you know if you pay attention to your body. Your body's the best tool that you can have on an investigation if you just listen to your body. I mean, I'm sure everybody's done it. You walk into a room, everything's fine, and all of a sudden it just feels like there's an AC blowing on you and you got cold chills. Or you maybe sense that maybe something's looking over your back. Yeah, 100, yes. But yes, your body is the best tool. So what I tried to do was, because my body's my best tool, I wanted other tools that could tell me, is the atmosphere sensing the same thing that my body's sensing? So I wanted to, that's why I'm saying everything actually works together if you allow it to work together. If you're not staging stuff and you're not faking stuff, everything will work together. And it either is haunted, it is not haunted, or it's unexplainable. There's always that in between. This can't be, I can't explain it. It's not the structure. It's not anything that I'm picking up. It's not nothing I'm seeing, but it's something there. So yeah, I mean, now I've actually had my cameras on here at the house and been in another room. And then whenever I come back and took the SD card out, played it, I was absolutely shocked. One day a man, almost like a man, came right up to my microphone in my living room. And he said, "Can you possibly help us?" And I mean, it's plain as day, just like I had a TV on or a man was in my living room and there was nobody there but me. And thank goodness I had 2 other cameras going. And I also had a digital tape recorder. So the timestamp that I got that on that, I went back and looked at all the other equipment, and there was an orb. I mean, I'm talking a bright orb that just like it came in my door, through the metal door, across the living room, and right to the camera, to the microphone. And at that timestamp that I had, "Can you possibly help us?" Yeah. Wow. Yeah. That's what I was like, wow, what? Wow. No. Then I'm looking, that was a TV on, and I always look for outside interference. It could have been something outside. I'm always trying to debunk it. But luckily I had other cameras going. But for some reason it went to that one particular camera and it had night vision. And it was daytime. And that's what I said, you can catch. You don't have to be out there in the dark, stumbling around, which you can do. And sometimes you can catch more in the dark. But this was in broad daylight in the middle of my home, and I just flipped that camcorder over to night vision. And if I hadn't have, I probably wouldn't have caught that orb if it would not have been on night vision. But with the night vision, it caught the orb, and then the microphone caught the sound. So I had the audio. And then I had the full spectrum in pink, and it caught the orb coming over at the same, so it had the same timestamp. And then the digital recorder had the same voice. So 4 different pieces of equipment that I had in there running all had the same timestamp and same sound. And there was no way to debunk it. I couldn't debunk it. So that's why a lot of my little shorts on this channel, that's my living room. And that's what's happening in my living room. And then I ended up bringing that group in. I wanted to catch all the evidence first. And then I brought a group in. And then it went to the shadow. And they did, the only thing they did not catch was the shadow. But they did a cleansing. And then They also, not only inside, but they did a cleansing on the outside and then planted what is it, St. Christopher's medal, or some kind of a metal coin thing. They planted it in the ground outside, along with the blessing they did and cleansing in my home. And it didn't stop though that night. No, it didn't stop. But they left me things to continue the cleansing. They said, don't ignore it. Don't communicate with it. Don't acknowledge it. And then claim your home. This is my home. You're not welcome here. You need to go. This is not, you're not welcome here. I'm going to go check out those short videos on your channel. Yeah, because they're just some small ones. And I didn't want to put a whole lot on there because I was just trying to catch enough evidence that I knew that something wasn't right. And it had been going on for too long. And then I brought in a group that I knew, researched them. I didn't know them personally. And I knew not only did they come in and do a research, but they also done cleansing. And then after they were here, I contacted the Catholic priest who we went and remodeled his home, and we got to know him real well. And he sent the new young priest to our home, and he sat with me and prayed with me, and then he also done a cleansing prayer and the holy water and everything. So it wasn't just, that's how, yeah. It followed us home, and it was determined it was not going to leave. And then it took months. And I'd hear something and I'd say, "Stop it! I told you you're not welcome here. I'm not going to acknowledge you. This is my home. You need to go." And I would always say the Lord's Prayer, and I claimed my home, and I told him, I said, "You're not welcome here." Yes, I feel bad energy in my home. I literally open my doors and kick it out. And you can claim your home. It's your home. It's your space. It's just like every time someone knocks on your door, you make the decision whether you want to open your door and allow that person in. Same thing with the spirit. This is my home. There's the door. Get out. You're not welcome here. I didn't invite you here. Go. And you have to claim your home. And there's times that it will get overwhelming, and you're thinking, I'm never going to get rid of this. And then all of a sudden, it's gone. But the more you acknowledge it, the stronger it gets. I will tell you that. The more that you acknowledge it, the stronger it gets. So that is not something you want to do. Not at all. So, but anyway, I've been on here almost 3 hours. Oh my goodness. But I hope that maybe something I said today might help somebody. I know you all being here today has helped me. And I want to thank you for being here with me during my time of loss and helping me stay busy and focused on other things and thinking about other things. So I appreciate you so much. That is just wonderful. And yeah, go back and look at the shorts. And then you'll see the graveyard that I went into. I didn't wait till dark and go in, which they don't even allow you there in the dark. But it's a beautiful, beautiful graveyard. And then it has the huge mound in the middle. And but yeah, it's pretty. And then I have some shorts. One was a mansion that I went to, and it's just if there's only small things, it's because I was with the group, and I was afraid of noise, contamination. So I only have like little pieces and bits there. So I don't have a whole lot on there. I've enjoyed chatting with you. Glad I caught you live. Have a good rest of your day. Yes, and you have a great rest of your day and an amazing weekend. And always remember, if the more light you put out, the less darkness there's going to be. You know, you always think of me and my home as if it was say a cabin in the woods, and you go in and it's dark, and you light a light, and then you light a fire. It's no longer a dark cabin in the woods. It's full of warm fire, and you got your fire going, and you got lanterns going, and you're lighting that darkness. And if you do that every day, it's it's a good thing. It's a good thing. And I always light a candle every morning so I can have light in my home and love. So I'm going to be sending everybody light and love. Thank you again for being here. And just spread a little light and spread a little love. That's what this world needs. Too much darkness. And one person at a time, we can bring a little light into this world. And right now, I think it needs it. There's so many things going on right now that it's scary. And so every day I try to light a candle and say a prayer and bring a little bit of light and love. So with that, everybody have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you again for being here. This is a journey that I'm going through, and I'm glad you're going through it with me. Just not being alone is amazing. And thank you so much. And sending light and love. And until next time, I'll see you. Bye-bye.